actually nuclear drama today. Just when you thought that One Punch Man drama couldn't get worse, more oil is added onto the fire, and rejoice, drama enjoyers. Let's at least try to have some fun with it in this shitty situation. So there is this animator, Takashi Hashimoto. He's a legendary animator. He's worked on stuff like this: Bleach, bro, Dr. Stone, Krivates, Fire Force, Bleach, again, Alden Zero, all these different things. These are amazing Sakuga level anime, right? There's been moments of greatness that you've probably seen that you don't even recognize. And apparently, he's working on One Punch Man. So actually, before we get into the drama, I think something that's really cool that comes out of this is that in the future episodes, this dude is pulling up. It's gonna be maybe a Von Oba situation again, where we glaze up and hype up something. I'm like, oh my god, a certain cut's coming. But hey, it's good to know that someone of significance that's good at doing this shit is pulling up for an episode in the future. But what's actually happening? So this is the original post, right? This is him tweeting, or not really tweeting. This is Blue Sky, right? This is basically Twitter for leftist people that wants to go in hiding. And if we translate it to English, right, there's stuff like this. And, you know, these are just AI translations. There's more official translations. And, oh my god, of course we have Nicholas Light coming in. Of course we have Chibi coming in. Of course we have Mother's Basement coming in. And we got a lot more to talk about. But let's just look at this single image, right? Let's look at this image, this translation, and ask ourselves what's going on. Regarding One Punch Man, the criticisms, or rather the sheer volume of criticism from people watching illegally overseas, are overwhelming. So basically, international audience who are watching it, consuming it, using piracy. That's a whole separate issue with the video we can make. You know, piracy, again, at the end of the day, is a service issue. Give people a good incentive, a good experience. They will pay up for the official thing, but piracy will never stop. It's just how the internet works. The production team probably feels a lot of pain because of it. Everyone shares the same feeling. Nobody sets out to make a bad product, yet we get criticized for the smallest details. Yes, absolutely. Now, people will twist the words and say, smallest details? Did you see episode 6? It's fucking RBG Disco PowerPoint presentation. These are not smallest details. But what I'm trying to get at is One Punch Man, again, will be shit on no matter what, even if similar flaws are happening in other shows. Because of the precedents, the history, the context surrounding this shitstorm, you know, with the production company fucking over One Punch Man after season 1. Now, season 2 is looking godlike in comparison to season 3. Now, people are saying, oh my god, can we have season 2 times back? And don't worry, we're gonna get to season 2 reactions pretty soon too. Check out the fucking playlist. We're doing a One Punch Man season 1 and 2 reaction pretty soon. But because of all these different reasons, it will be shit on way harder for anything. And let's just be real. It's a garbage product. It's a steaming heap of shit. Yeah, people are brigading the IMDb ratings for episode 6 for, you know, the most recent episode, or should I say last week's episode. But it is a garbage episode. It is fucking falling apart. So there is a lot of people frustrated and upset that will just hone in on everything. They will never acknowledge anything that was actually good. Because right now, the agenda is hate farm it as hard as possible. And while there are valid criticisms that exist, remember my protest and riot analogy? No matter what, you're gonna have bad faith actors existing in any spectrum of community. You're gonna have people that take it far and they don't actually care about what's going on. They take advantage of the situation and basically start rioting, looting to justify their shitty behavior. Those people should be the ones being condemned because they're not actually offering real valid criticism. Anyone saying that we can be as shitty as fucking possible and send personal insults and death threats and stuff, I think you're so far gone. If you're criticizing the anime and can actually tell me what's bad with the anime, for sure, we can laugh about it, we can meme about it. But I feel like the moment that you say sheer volume of criticism from people watching illegally overseas are overwhelming, this is a very bad messaging. I understand this person's intent, but when you don't differentiate between criticism, right? Like basically you're saying sheer volume of criticism from people watching illegal overseas is overwhelming. Now it sounds like every criticism is bad no matter what. Now, this could be a language barrier. Anytime we have drama happening with a Japanese animator making a public statement, there's usually a language barrier. There is a cultural context stuff going on, right? So let's just keep reading this, right? Where is our motivation supposed to go? I'll be blunt. In the next few weeks, something we poured our heart and soul into it will be aired. If people call it crap or paper play, Kageshibai limited animation, then so be it. But we pushed ourselves to the very limit. I think that this will probably be the Child Emperor fight, and hopefully, I hope to God, there's a Zombie Man cut. There is a specific scene in the manga where Zombie Man is fucking mogging the monsters. I hope that gets done justice, but kind of hype that like we have something to look forward to. If there's an additional statement, link that shit in the Discord so we can cover everything, but the context of this video is going to be limited to this statement. Please think about the creators behind the screen. We aren't doing this as volunteers. This is everyone's job. The more you bully us, the more the staff will disappear, guaranteed. And fuck. I am so conflicted about this because this is so poorly written. And again, Google Translate, language barrier. But when you structure your, like, basically they're frustrated. Of course they would be. Listen, it's a shit fucking product. It is a garbage anime. And they're, of course, gonna get shit on. But no matter how frustrated you are, when you come out with a statement like this that antagonizes basically overseas people, claiming they're all watching it illegally, claiming that these criticism, or rather sheer volume of criticism from people watching illegal overseas, right? You are basically now generalizing the international audience as all the same and that all of their criticisms are basically bullshit. And I don't think that's what you should be saying. You really need to fucking differentiate between actual criticism and the bad faith actors that are being extreme, sending death threats and harassment beyond actual complaints. And now, no matter how entitled you may be, no matter how justified your position may be, because yeah, you're upset, people are being nasty to you, this is a failure of PR. You are fucking up by crashing out. I understand the frustrations, and there are bad faith actors that needs to be condemned, but when you don't write it and differentiate it and it gets presented this way, suddenly this is gonna happen, right? Suddenly this shit's gonna happen. It's pouring gas onto the fire, and now all the people will use this as ammo and make the situation even fucking worse. I sympathize with this animator. I sympathize with the actual employees working on this anime over at JC staff. But I condemn the production committee known as Bandai Namco and many other producers along the side, as well as the top brass executive decision makers at JC staff that decided to take on this project. There could be, again, a context where just because you have an option to say no doesn't mean you have to say the no. In Japanese bureaucracy, work culture, you have to just fucking take it, and you're basically being sacrificed. If you say no, I think that basically burns bridges and you'll be blacklisted. It is an unfortunate politics at play that definitely could exist in, Japanese work culture. But again, these are just theories that I'm bringing up to try to defend or try to justify why these acts are happening. And when tensions are this fucking high, and you come out and make this statement, not differentiating between actual criticisms versus schizo retards on Twitter and Reddit, right? Saying all these nasty stuff, it emboldens the writers. It emboldens the writers and makes them even more angry and frustrated. And now things are even fucking worse. And in an ideal world, right? Maybe there is a world where people can all be respectful, grown-ass adults, understand that this is a shitty situation and there's nothing we can really expect from this current team, and that the anime, it's gonna be garbage, and we just say, it is what it is and move on. But this is not an ideal world. It is filled, with a bunch of fucking schizo haters that you can probably see in all these fucking different, in responses that do have a right to be upset, that should be upset, but they take it too far. Now you give them more ammo. It's going to be even fucking worse. That's why I keep saying over and over again, it doesn't matter where you're coming from. It doesn't matter your intent, because the outcome, no matter how justified you know, you defending yourself and your team and your producers, whatever, right, against the harassment that extends beyond actual criticism, no matter how justified you may be, now you have given them more ammo. You fucked up. This is a terrible mistake. I understand where they're coming from, but again, I'm focused on what will this messaging convey to the audience? And you can say the audience is a bunch of fucking retards. They're illiterate. Their reading comprehension sucks. And now, because of their stupidity, they're going to crash out and whine and misrepresent, you know, Takashi Hashimoto's words and make it worse. But here's the thing. People are going to be shitty. It's a fucking jungle. This is a fucking Animal House, baby. And you need to understand that and approach these delicate situations and fucking figure out, is my messaging, no matter how justified it may be, really gonna make the situation better? No. No, it's not. And now people are gonna drag this over the next couple of weeks. They're going to be dragging this shit over and over, and it's gonna get fucking worse. Let's read some of the other statements. Of course, it's gonna be Nicholas Light's fault somehow. I just know it, bro. Somebody, somehow, some way will say, I can't believe Nicholas Light assassinated Takashi Hashimoto in a couple of weeks. I am so fucking sick of these people gaslighting and guilt-tripping fans. And you know what? You can hate him. You can shit on him. But when you read the statement that is not differentiating genuine criticism, but rather blaming people from watching illegally overseas are overwhelming, right? This is a very vague general statement that groups everybody together. And now Nick can make statements like this and ride the fucking hate train. And again, you're giving fucking ammo. It's not about gaslighting and guilt-tripping fans. It's about understanding what they went through. But here's the thing. It sounds like the response from the animator is gaslighting and guilt-tripping fans. No matter if that's the intent, that's how it can be presented. Remember, once a statement has been said, people will interpret it and add it to their own agenda in the way that they want. And when you don't have a distinctive messaging that defends you from this, your words will be, this is ammo you're giving. Nobody is, you know, confused about this shitty standard. Absolutely, right? They're overworked. They have no time. But I'm saying that the messaging will be so fucking bad that like people will get worse and fucking worse with this shit too. Chibi reviews. The fact that animators of One Punch Man are trying to gaslight us into eating actual shit is wild. Let's see. They are not saying, let's see. Gaslighting us into eating actual shit as well. They're saying it is going to be shit, so don't be surprised. More like that. I feel bad they got thrown into the wolves in the den by Bandai Namco. But trying to say we can't criticize is crazy. And that's what it seems like, right? I think that this person may not actually understand how they sound. Because again, when you say this top phrase, right? Sheer volume of criticism from people watching illegally overseas are overwhelming. If you don't differentiate that and couple everything together, Chibi can make a statement like this. And that's not really wrong either, because this person has not clarified himself. If a famous 5-star restaurant put a plate of shit in front of you, are you going to gobble it up because they said criticizing will make it quit? Well, here's the thing. This analogy, I brought it up before too. It's not this. This should be a 5-star restaurant. We should be expecting great food. But guess what? No matter how talented their chefs are, they have fucking 10 seconds to make raw chicken into good chicken. Fucking impossible. So the phrasing is, we've been set up to fail. It's gonna be garbage. I understand the criticisms and they're valid, but those going beyond actual criticism and just hating and spreading hate, using rage bait and negative engagement to add to their fucking agenda, to take advantage of the situation, I condemn. That's all this person had to say. But when you don't make yourself clear, shit like this is gonna happen. And now, you should be angry that you got shit food at a Michelin star restaurant. Absolutely. But it's like, in this specific night, the staff is a skeleton crew. There is no time to serve everyone. It's gonna be garbage. So you can sit here and scream at the minimum wage workers, the servers or whatever. You can scream at the line cooks. and complain and whine about your food isn't good at this Michelin star restaurant. Or you can understand from context that, okay, tonight's fucked up. There's nothing good that's gonna come out today. I'm just gonna leave. I'm not gonna make a mess out of myself. I'm angry. I'm frustrated. I might even make a complaint and say, this is unprofessional. But beyond that, I'm gonna leave and go somewhere else because I know that nothing good will come from this situation, right? I hope that you understand that this is a very generalized restaurant analogy that can be contextualized even more. Here's Mother's Basement. So many willfully missing the point. These animators are being worked to the bone, forced to put out half-finished art they themselves are not happy with on a brutally unfair production schedule. I think that a lot of people at this point are aware of that. It's just some people, again, don't give a fuck. They say, nope, I am the consumer. I don't care about any sort of context of why the situation is the way that is. I demand good food. You're not going to give me good food. Now I'm going to be a hateful little fucking goblin because I am entitled as the customer. This is a very Western mindset too. I think that there, again, beyond the language barrier, there is also a cultural barrier. I feel like the international audience definitely is more entitled because why? There's a difference in ideology in the way that especially Americans think versus, let's say, Japan or Korea or China, right? Asian culture, Eastern culture, it's a very like homogenized groupthink, hive mind, collectivist mindset where rather than talk about focusing on individualism, we think about a greater society together, right? America is the land of the free where you can make your dreams come true. By how? Stepping over other people. It's all about individualism. It is individualism maxed to the fucking point where you will see entitlement, height of capitalism. You see, you know, a poor fucking worker being worked to the bone, but your food is, you know, bad at a restaurant. Yeah, you should be mad. But a Karen at that point will say, fuck you. What the fuck did I come here for? And start screeching and being nasty. All I'm saying is, you don't have to screech and be nasty. You can simply remove yourself and leave and go somewhere else after acknowledging, yeah, this is fucked up. I got done dirty. I might not even come to this restaurant no more, but it's pointless to stay here and continuously fucking crying because nothing's gonna change. Personally attacking the staff is pointless. The production committee is at fault. Yes, but I think that what Mother's Basement is kind of glossing over again is the phrasing of the statement, right? At the end of the day, it really comes down to good intent, terrible fucking execution. This is a PR disaster. This is so unprofessional. And I know people are gonna say, I can't believe you're protecting the fucking haters. I'm not. I can see through my objective perspective lens when something is wrong. And when I read this statement, when I contextualize this single statement, I see a lack of differentiation between real criticism and people who are shitting on it for the sake of shitting on it. And when you do this, it emboldens the shitty crowd. You gave them more ammo, and congratulations. It's gonna get even fucking worse. Sometimes it's best to just shut the fuck up. The best move you could have done is say nothing. They need to stop tweeting. They need to stop responding. Stop getting rage baited because you make the situation worse. Walk away, give out your fucking content and move on and let this shit die over because god fucking damn. Every time someone pulls up and says something, it adds more fuel to the fire. And I hope that like you can see through my perspective that no matter how much you may be biased against Nicholas Slight, no matter how much you may be biased against Chibi or even Mother's Basement or even me, hopefully you can understand from an objective perspective through sheer pragmatism why a statement like this, no matter how justified, no matter how much it's born out of frustration from the shitty bad faith actors, if you don't make your messaging clear, you're gonna fucking make it worse. Now, I hear that there is additional statements, right? I hear that there is something more that came out beyond this statement that may actually explain it. And you know what? If that explains it, great. I'm glad that you were able to change up the messaging and basically explain the context behind it. But here's the thing. In the world of social media, no one cares about that. They only care about the first thing that went viral. No one ever cares about the context. They only go off of the headlines. And this is a thing that they'll remember. This statement is a mistake, even though I understand their sentiments. And this is a fucking disaster, man. I can't wait for the next fucking week where it's just gonna be drama born from this over and over again. And maybe I can give you my opinions on those reactions too. Goodbye.